So, Mr. Ayad Akhtar, welcome to Copenhagen.
Thank you.
You're here to promote your novel American Dervish, which is Tavshedens Smerte in Danish, during the Copenhagen Lit Festival. Could you please tell us a bit about your novel?
Sure. It tells the story of Ayad between the ages of 10 and 12. He's a boy growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the middle of the country. And he is the son of secular Muslim parents who are not particularly interested in religion. And into their lives comes his mother's best friend who's fleeing a divorce in Pakistan. And she comes to live with them. And she is a very beautiful and brilliant woman, and she also is a devout woman, but she's a devout Muslim, but she has a very unique way of seeing Islam. And she teaches him about his tradition, she teaches him about the Quran, she teaches him about the tales of the Prophet. And in the process, he's at that time in his life where he's not only going through a kind of cultural and spiritual awakening, he's also going through an awakening of his body. So those two things begin to blend, and he begins to start having feelings for Mina that are very complex and extraordinary. When she meets his father's best friend, a Jewish doctor, and begins a courtship, they begin to sort of, date, as it were, and Ayad begins to feel a kind of destructive jealousy, and that's the motor of the book, what happens in the book. Parts of it are taken from things that happen in my life, but for the most part, the story is a larger metaphor for the ways that the Quran operates within the Muslim Sunni landscape. And it's a challenge to that way of approaching the Quran. I wanted to tell a story that was going to be an American story, a coming-of-age story, a dysfunctional family story, a story of forbidden love, a conversion narrative, but I wanted to tell that story through the lens of the Muslim American experience. So, yeah, the story has been with me for a long time. Strangely enough, the book really isn't about the conflict between an American majority and a Muslim minority. It's set before 9/11, and I wanted to write a story that was going to tell the story of an American family, a boy having an American religious experience. It just happened to be that they were Muslims, because the immigrant narrative is in many ways the essential American narrative. So there isn't really the same, in many ways America is a multicultural society by definition, whereas I think European societies have aspired toward multiculturalism, but they're working against the grain of their own histories in a way. So I can understand why the book would be perceived that way, but it's not really what the book is about. Yeah, I used so much of the textures and the feelings and the experiences of my childhood, and I kind of worked them into the story so that the story would have this feeling of autobiography. What actually happens in the story did not happen to me, but I think that the textures and the moods and the world of the story is very much the world of my childhood. I've been on a long tour, so I haven't had much of a chance to see it, but yesterday Tariq Omar and I walked through a large part of the city, and I just loved it. I just think it seems like such a beautiful city. I wish I could spend more time here.
Excellent. Ayad Akhtar, thank you so much.
Thank you.